Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. I am Levi.
I'm Howie.
We've been replaced by robots.
To Northwest Robots, where today we're going to be talking about 2 or 3 of the new face commanders from Bloomburrow Commander. Yeah.
Let's try to
Animal
match.
set.
Let's try to match your freak.
Animal set looks pretty cool.
Yeah, furry animal set seems pretty sick.
We haven't seen like any of the new cards in the 99 yet, but these are just first takes on a lot of these things. Let's talk about Zenia.
Yeah, we want to talk about Zenia. Zenia's cool. Valley's voice for a Jeskai. Flying, it gets a plus X plus 0, where X is the number of other creatures you control with base power 1. Creature spells you cast have offspring 2, which is a new mechanic that lets you pay an additional 2 as you cast a creature spell. If you do, when that creature enters, you create a 1/1 token copy of it. Pretty darn sweet. I think like one of the very first things that comes to mind is just some of the really good, just low to the ground or low mana cost creatures that get a lot of value. So like we could talk about Dockside and Esper Sentinel, but you guys probably already know what those creatures are. Charismatic Conqueror. Freaking, that's a cool one, and it's like a bit newer as well. Having 2 of those would just be really nice. Anytime somebody plays.
It also makes 1/1s, so it pumps Zenia.
Yeah, pumps Zenia. It just feeds itself.
Yeah. Same with Ocelot Pride from Modern Horizons 3. Not only is it a 1/1 that makes 1/1s, but it can double each token you made that turn, which the offspring are tokens.
And feeding into really itself.
Good. It's really good.
If I were making a deck with that, I'd be putting those cards in there.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
Any others for Zenia that we wanted to touch on that we thought were interesting?
Yeah, there was one. It's called like gold-plated robot bird on the topic of robots.
Gold-plated robot bird.
It's from March of the Machine. It's a gold-forged Thopteryx. It's a white and a blue for a 1/3 flying lifelink. Each legendary permanent you control has ward 2. So
that's really good.
Into that, and all of a sudden Zenia has ward 4.
That'd be very nasty.
And it gets plus 2 from that because it's already a 1/3. Really good. Token doublers, of course, and whatever, Spark Double.
Whatever, Spark Double.
Yeah. Zenia's really cool.
I'm
going to brew up a list. It kind of seems like it would just be maybe Jeskai low mana staples, because you do have to pay for the offspring too.
Yeah, Jeskai low mana staples.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The deck.
I don't know if this is going to be CDH or not, because I kind of feel like you could get into like a Dockside loop with this fairly easily somehow. I bet.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be getting 2 triggers off of it relatively easy.
Yeah, and then you just need something else to bounce the first one and do it again.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's already how Dockside loops work.
Cloudstone.
I'm going to move on to the next one. Bellow, Bard of the Brambles, triple B, 1 red, green for a Raccoon Bard. It's a 3/3. During your turn, each non-equipment, artifact, and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental creature in addition to its other types, and has indestructible haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. You can turn all your stuff into indestructible hasty, draw a card stuff. And their elementals, and because when you cast these things, artifacts and enchantments usually don't have flash during your turn, they will enter as elementals. I thought Mana Echoes would be a great include.
Mana Echoes would be extremely awesome in here. Because they're also elemental creatures as well, so they'd share the creature type.
Yeah. You know what else is really cool that I actually just realized is that this gives the elemental enchantments or equipments the ability, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So if you have Roaming Throne as an elemental, you would draw 2 cards. Per thing. Because Bellow doesn't have the ability. Secret Elemental Tribal Commander, man.
It actually kind of is. Oh my gosh.
Really, anything that's 4 mana or more. And maybe you don't even want to play. It's interesting, because maybe you don't want to play Bellow as soon as you can on turn 2 or 3. And maybe you just want to wait until you have a couple enchantments and then swing in. You've seen a way to give him trample, like something with like Garruk's Uprising, or what else gives mass trample? Sure, there's stuff.
I'm sure you could find one that's like 4 or more mana value.
Yeah. And the cool part, too, is that it doesn't care if something is already a creature. It still becomes a 4/4 elemental creature if it's an enchantment creature or an artifact creature. So, like, your Solemn Simulacrum's a 4/4.
Yeah, that's really important to know.
And another really cool synergy with him is vehicles, because you don't have to crew them.
They just are creatures.
They're just creatures.
When they're 4 mana, at least.
When they're 4 mana, at least. And a lot of...
There's some really good, like,
a lot of
lower-ish
vehicles have
count.
attack triggers on them. So when they become a creature, an elemental creature,
that's
you just
hasted.
automatically get that. With haste, like Essica's Chariot is 4 mana. When it enters, you make 2/2/2 green cat creatures, and when it attacks, you create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Nautiloid Ship actually might be the coolest card in the deck. 4 mana, flying vehicle, 5/5, but it's a 4/4 because of Bellow. When it enters, you exile target player's graveyard, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control. So, real easy way to like just take an opponent's creature from their graveyard.
I love
really
it.
Good. Really good.
I think it actually gives a pretty useful way to play freaking vehicles, man, because vehicles are just a tough sell sometimes, so.
Yeah. And I do like that it's artifacts or enchantments. Like, you're not restricted. Usually a commander like this, I feel like it's like, yeah, do it with your artifacts or whatever. This guy is basically just a reverse Chishiro, because Chishiro cares about equipment and auras, and this guy says everything but those.
Yeah, he cares about the other stuff. I could see him being like really powerful. I really could see him being super powerful.
Even if he's not like the most powerful precon, I feel like he seems just really fun.
Yeah,
like this is like a cool take on Gruul, like a Gruely beatdown strategy, because your core win con is likely still just beat down, just swinging in for damage and stuff, but he's really cool.
Yeah, you're doing it with the help of some artifacts and enchantments. So
yeah, the only thing that I think is against him is a mana value 4 or greater. I understand he needs a stipulation like that to keep him in check, but I don't know about you. Most of my decks these days have been bringing the curve down, and just like, you probably want like 30 things that are 4 mana or more, and that's a huge chunk of your deck.
Yeah, you know that's going to be that's going to be the struggle with Bellow for sure. I think is trying to get that curve right. You're probably going to have a decent amount of ramp in here to be able to get your things out. Hopefully, at least by turn 4. Bellow, hopefully by turn 3 at the very earliest. latest.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I feel like maybe like a Bellow Enchantress deck could be really cool, because then you could ramp and you can draw cards, and a couple of the things that draw cards for Enchantresses are 4 mana, like Eidolon of Blossoms. Is that the card?
Eidolon of Blossoms, yeah.
Yeah, whenever one enters, that's an enchantment enters, you draw a card, right?
2 and 2 green, Constellation. Whenever Eidolon of Blossoms or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card.
Yeah, so, and it's a 4/4 now.
Yeah, it's an enchantment creature, but yeah, now it's a 4/4.
Yeah.
So. Oh yeah, that's just an auto include in that deck, in my opinion. if you are running more of an Enchantress version.
Yeah, which I think that Enchantress might be more interesting because we do have a couple Gruul artifact commanders already. A couple. Not
Yeah.
very many at all. Just a couple.
If I were to, I'd probably do lots of vehicles just because being able to attack with them immediately is just so awesome to me. I love that.
That's cool. If I build this, I think I'll go Enchantress.
That'd
be neat. And you could add cards to like a... Is it Sanctum Weaver that's 2 mana and you tap it to add a color for each enchantment you control?
I believe so.
Which kind of alleviates the mana issue, too. Yeah. It's only 2 mana, so it doesn't become a 4/4, but still. Tap to add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Once it starts making 2 or 3 mana, like, you're already online. It's good.
Yeah. I think he's awesome. A unique spin on a Gruul commander, because that's what I think Gruul needs, is more uniqueness.
Yeah. Let's just talk about... Do you want to talk about the other one real quick? I just want to talk about that one interaction.
Yeah. Hazel of the Rootbloom, 2 black and a green. Legendary creature Squirrel Druid has tap, pay 2 life, tap X untap tokens you control, add X mana in any combination of colors. At the beginning of your end step, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. If that token is a squirrel, instead create 2 tokens that are copies of it. Guess what the best card in this deck will be?
Helm of the Host.
Yeah, baby.
I haven't seen a single person talk about this interaction yet. But if you just play this all the good squirrels, add Shatterfang, whatever. But once you get to enough tokens where this thing can tap for like, let's say it's just 5 mana, you already have 4 lands. You just slap Helm of the Host down, equip it, put it on Hazel of the Rootbloom, make a token copy. During the end step, they both make a copy of the non-legendary copy, so all of a sudden, in one turn, you have 6 Hazels. Next turn, I believe, if my math checks out, you end up with 14, and then the turn after that, you end up with 30. I think it's 30.
Yeah. It would be way too out of hand. You'd have near infinite mana because the token has haste as well, by the way.
I don't think you'd get more mana because you have to tap X, untap tokens you control.
That's right, yeah.
Being tapped, yeah. But you still, after 3 turns having 33 5s, it's kind of like a buffed Scoot Swarm, you know what I'm saying? Without any landfall stuff. Like, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I don't think we need to talk much about Hazel, though. Like, that's a cool interaction, but just throw all the good squirrels in there. Throw your artifact synergies in there. Roaming Throne. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think... The thing about squirrels is, like, it's just going to be your basic, simple token strat again.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. It's got a bit of a flavor. The last one is that Miss
Bumbleflower.
Bumbleflower.
She's alright, but...
Yeah,
Each deck has 15 new cards.
Yeah.
So like, maybe her 99 will make her better. I don't even want to talk about it right now. I feel like she's definitely a card so far where you make the 99 and you're like, I wanted it to be Bant Group Hug, so we're going to put Miss Bumbleflower there just because.
Yeah, she's definitely like Quain. Even though I know they're both rabbits, but but not for that reason only.
Only one's a citizen.
Only one is a citizen. Yeah. And we don't have much to talk about that one, but...
Yeah.
Other
So
than
15 new cards per deck, so these cards could get a lot more cooler stuff that aren't revealed yet that we can talk about later. But for now, this is just our first look at the Bloomburrow face commanders. I'm also super curious what the non-face commanders in the decks will look like.
Yeah, the non-face commanders. I'm excited for those paw print cards that are coming out too.
Oh yeah, there's some cool new mechanics in this set. The paw print stuff and did you see Expend?
I haven't seen Expend.
It's like You get something if you spend a certain threshold of mana in any turn.
Ooh, okay.
So you just get stuff for doing stuff. Like this thing says whenever you expend 4, you gain 3 life. You expend 4 as you spend your 4th total mana to cast spells during a turn.
Ooh, what card is that?
That's Moira, Trash Tactician. Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of really cool new mechanics in this set. I'm actually really hyped for this. I love the art and I love the style.
Yeah. There's 10 different tribes. That's kind of neat. That's a lot in one set.
Yeah. Excited to see.
Each 2-color combo gets one. Frog, cool. Mouse, and rat.
Frog, mouse, rat.
Shout out to Parks and Rec. Frog, otter, lizard, bird, bat. I don't know how much we're at. Rabbit, squirrel. That sounds like 10 to me.
Something like that. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much. Thanks to our patron, King Dom. Check out our patron in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one.